Hey guys, Troy here with Cape Ann Conversations, and I've got Scott, the CEO of SeniorCare, with me today. Scott, give us a little rundown as to who SeniorCare is and when it got started.
Sure. So SeniorCare came about in 1972, so this is our 53rd year, and we were actually born out of Action here in Gloucester. Started out as kind of a mom and pop shop where the director at that time and a couple of staff would go door to door to see if older adults needed help, be it with housework or personal care or whatever it might be. And over the decades, it just grew. We were actually called Senior Home Care at that time. And then sometime in the 90s, we rebranded to SeniorCare Inc.
Okay.
Yeah, so we've been around for a while, and we've certainly grown in terms of the range of services that we offer and different programs. I'll throw in that this year's Action Inc.'s 60th anniversary.
Wow.
Yeah.
Little call out for Action Inc. doing good work as well.
For sure. They're good partners.
Now, you've personally been with the organization for how long?
I have been with SeniorCare for 28 years. I started out as...
In middle school.
Yeah, in
right?
middle school. Yeah, I wish. I started out as a adult protective services caseworker, and I did that for 4 years. And then 9 years, I was the protective services director. And then after 13 years, I actually jumped ship, and I went to another sister agency, Minuteman Senior Services, down in Burlington. Stayed there for about 3.5 years, came back to SeniorCare as the director of home care, and then in January of 2013, they hired me into my current position.
Yeah, what is the official, I guess you could say, mission of SeniorCare?
Yeah, so our mission is pretty simple. We work primarily with folks that are 60 and over, as well as their caregivers, and our mission is to help people to remain at home. This is where they typically want to be, keep them out of facilities, nursing homes, hospitals, etc. So through services, our aim is to help people to age in place in their community, remain as independent as possible. And we do that directly with the person, but we also focus on caregivers.
And you call it like an ASAP or something like that. It's but you have your community is our community. It's Beverly, Ipswich, Gloucester, Rockport, Essex, Manchester by the Sea, Topsfield. I'm probably forgetting some.
Hamilton and Wenham.
Hamilton and Wenham, yeah. So it's Cape Ann, but you're called something like a ASAP or something like that.
Yeah, so ASAP stands for Aging Service Access Point, and that's we're a state designated ASAP. There's 24 of us throughout Massachusetts, and we all have we're all nonprofits. We all have different names, and we all have our dedicated geography. So we're also a federally designated area agency on aging. So we do receive some funding through the Older Americans Act.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are the things that people use, your services that people use the most, that people know you for pretty regularly?
Well, I think most people know us because of Meals on Wheels.
Yeah.
So, we serve about 500 meals per day in the 9 communities that we cover. They also know us through the state home care programs. So if someone is eligible for the state home care program based on their functional needs, not income, anybody can be in the state home care program. We can provide things like a homemaker, someone to do laundry, go grocery shopping. If someone needs personal care, assistance with bathing or whatnot, we can do that. We have chore workers, companions, things of this nature. So that's all through our state home care program.
And you guys also do things like, you can imagine someone aging and having to transition into different programs like Medicaid, Medicare, Social Security. You have resources that people help them go through that process.
Yes, we do. Our home care department is our biggest department at SeniorCare. So we have, 17 care managers, a team of nurses. But to your point, we have something called Shine Counseling, which is very popular when people are trying to choose a Medicare plan for themselves. So we have somebody on staff. It's actually a volunteer. It's by appointment only, and people come in and meet with him. And based upon their needs, maybe their medical conditions or medications, he will help them with choosing a plan for themselves.
One of the neater services you were telling me about was the pet care services, because if you're an elderly person and you're kind of on your own, you go into the hospital for something, but you've got a dog at home, there's what's going to happen? How do we take care of that?
Yeah, so way back in the day, we saw that need arise, that oftentimes, sometimes people won't go to the hospital, say they need an overnight or two, or they need to go to rehab or something like that for a period of time. We ran into situations where the older adult would not get the needed medical attention that they needed because they had a pet at home and they don't have any family,
didn't want to abandon it,
or any other informal supports to help them. So we came up with Stay Pet Services. It's totally unfunded. We don't receive any funding for that. We really rely upon donations. But we can do things like dog walking. If somebody is out of the home for a period of time, we can go into the home and, make sure that the dog, cat, bird, fish, whatever,
lizard
are fed. Yeah, we kind of draw a line with lizards. I don't know. No, I'm only kidding.
It happens.
But we can also provide transportation to the vets. We can't take the person with us, but we can take the pet. And in some cases, if it's a low income older adult, we can try to come up with some funds to help defray the costs of veterinary care because it can be pretty expensive. So yeah, it's an important program, and
there's a lot of programs. If somebody goes to your website, they're seeing a list of infinite programs. But the key here is that typically these are elderly people or technically disabled people if they don't necessarily age dependent. Is that right?
What do you mean?
Like, is everyone you work with, are they like a certain age, like 65 and older?
So we serve people 60 and over.
60 and over.
But we do have one particular service called options counseling, and we can provide that to people 22 and over with a disability or their caregiver. And by the way, caregivers can, typically it's family, but they can also be the neighbor or a friend. It's not always family members. Yeah. So we can provide options counseling to help people navigate the complicated healthcare system. It's a short-term intervention, like 45 days, and doesn't have to be necessarily in person. It could be, by phone or email. But what the options counselors do is lay out exactly what choices the person has to meet their needs. And our goal is to kind of educate them so they can make their own informed decision on which way they want to go.
Yeah. Now, you guys are touching a lot of people. You're talking about 500 meals. Just that alone is one service out of 20. How many people technically work for SeniorCare versus volunteers? Do you have an idea of how many people are involved in the entity?
Yeah, so we serve about 5,000 people a month throughout the 9 communities. We have over 100 full-time staff or part-time staff, and we have about 350 volunteers. And the volunteers are super important because they support many of our programs. So for instance, that Stay Pet program, that is staffed for the most part by volunteers. We have a money management program that's staffed by volunteers. We have 150 volunteers who deliver Meals on Wheels for us.
Wow.
We have a technology assistance program, again, utilizes not only our staff, but volunteers as well. So there's always opportunities for, people to volunteer at SeniorCare, and our director is awesome, and she will make sure it's a good match for the person because we want the volunteers to enjoy their experience as much as they're, helping out in a given area.
Yeah, that's a lot of people. I mean, you guys are, even just the people that you hire, 100 people being employed in our backyard, by this organization, and another 350 plus keeping busy through this. Do you find that there's people that are aging themselves acting as volunteers? Like if you're 60 plus and you have a dog, do you volunteer as a pet sitter for somebody who, if they go into the hospital or they need help watching their dogs? Is that how that works a lot of times?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, anybody that needs our assistance, whether they're staff, whether they're volunteers, or just people that live in the community that, that need some help. Another awesome volunteer program we have is volunteer transportation. So with a few days' notice, you can call SeniorCare, and if you need transportation to a medical appointment, a volunteer will drive you there, wait for you, and bring you back home. And we actually have a few volunteers who will actually drive into Boston. So that's a valuable service that we provide for folks.
I was perusing the website in preparation for this, and there were a couple events coming up where there are events where you're working with your community, the community that you serve, the elderly community. And there were 3 events, one on romance scams, one on the tech world, and one on chronic illness. These were like 3 upcoming events here in the August-September time frame of 2025. And I was like, oh man, yeah, this is real. Like this is real life stuff where, grandma's getting a phone call and someone's trying to scam her, and they're like, your nephew was in the hospital. We need you to send money to get your nephew through the hospital. He can't talk because this is real life.
Sure is.
That they're dealing with every day. Like everybody probably knows somebody, elderly person, that's been sort of scammed in that way, or that is having a tech issue. Like, I can't print out my whatever that I need for this meeting or this hospital stay or this event or whatever it is, and I can't hook up my printer.
We can go to the home and we'll send somebody out to help hook up the printer.
Yeah, it's so nice. Like they're always trying to track down their grandson to stop by, and the grandson's like lives in Connecticut, and it's just like every time he comes, she's like, "Can you hook up the printer for me?" It's like, Grandma, you don't have to wait. Call SeniorCare.
Hey, I do that with my own kids.
Yeah, it's like I can't get this damn remote to work. It's real life, man. But also, like, chronic illness was the other one, and it's like, some of I'm sure there's a little bit of like normalizing aging for people. It's like you're not the only one dealing with arthritis. How can we help you? Don't feel like that this is the end of your ability to open jars or whatever it is that you guys are talking about.
Yeah.
It's just getting that community support.
Right. One of the things that we always try to combat is ageism, which takes, many shapes and forms. Because, older adults are vibrant and they're contributors to communities and society in general. And so we try to dispel any kind of myth about, older adults being frail and, things of that nature. But
yeah, they also need community, right? They themselves, if you don't have your own community at any age, that's what this is kind of all about. So there's probably ways for everybody to get connected there,
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we work really closely with the councils on aging, the senior centers, and also the YMCAs. So, we do work at Cape Ann Y. Right now, Beverly Y, you mentioned technology, and our technology navigator is doing a presentation there on phones for folks who have hearing loss, folks who have problems with vision. So we're doing a series of presentations there. Right now we're focusing on technology. But, the YMCA's, Ipswich Y, Beverly Y.
All these community
That's a great
partners.
place, and they have good programming for older adults as well, specifically. For instance, like Cape Ann YMCA has a program for folks who have Parkinson's. We also will do in various places, including the Ys, we have evidence-based programs. So we offer 8-week, it's called Matter of Balance, which is a fall prevention program. And then we also have something called Savvy Caregiver, which is another 8 to 10 weeks. It's a very strict curriculum, um, but in addition to the caregiver support program, we can also offer that. And most recently, and starting up, I think, beginning of September, we just concluded one, is Tai Chi Quan for seniors. We offer that at Addison Gilbert Hospital. It's a 6 month course. It's a heavy lift, 6 months, twice a week. But people seem to enjoy it.
Doing Tai Chi.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
This is, I don't want to use the word problem, but it's getting stuck in my brain. This is the problem. We have a baby booming population that's coming of age, and it's the biggest population we've ever had. And they're all coming of age at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And how do we take care of them? We definitely can't have them all try to go into independent living facilities or nursing homes or you name it. They have to stay in place. There's literally not enough resources at today's moment to provide all of the services to the senior community now, in the senior community that's kind of coming more and more every day.
Right. Right.
And so that's like, if there's probably a call to action here, it's maybe getting more volunteers, getting more people involved in senior care, the next generation of leadership.
Yes. No, that's absolutely true. I mean, we can always use more volunteers. Our staff has grown. I mean, in 28 years, I've seen senior care grow quite a bit. We also need funding. These are tough times right now in terms of state and federal funding. We have had reductions to the point that in a couple of our home care programs, one of our home care programs, we have what's called managed intake, which is a fancy word for waitlist. And another program, we also are seeing reductions in how many people that we can actually enroll on a monthly basis. So, yeah, there are definitely challenges, and the climate right now is difficult, and oftentimes we are operating in the dark because we don't really know what's coming down the pike, in terms of funding, et cetera. So yeah, it's a difficult time, and you're absolutely right. Especially on Cape Ann, there's a pretty high percentage of folks that are 60 and over in our community, and that's just going to continue to grow.
Yeah. You guys have a big celebration event coming up in September, and I want you to tell us about this celebration.
Yeah, so on September 17th, which is a Wednesday, from 5:30 until 8 p.m., it's our 53rd annual celebration, and this is our biggest fundraiser of the year, each year. Next year we'll be at the Beauport in Gloucester, where we had our 50th. So we try to bebop around to our 9 communities.
Yep.
But anyways, what we do, it's not a sit-down dinner. It's kind of hors d'oeuvres. And we give community awards to folks. And we'll have a silent auction. There will be a DJ there. And it's just chill. It's just fun.
Yeah. But this is a good opportunity for the community to come to you guys and support, and you can raise money, you can raise awareness, you can, raise an opportunity to open the door to the conversation in a formal matter. And so that was September 17th, 53rd year anniversary.
Yep, at the Hellenic Center in Ipswich.
Perfect.
Yeah. And, you mentioned it is an opportunity. We're currently selling tickets. You go to our website, SeniorCareInc.org, and you can buy tickets. If there's entities that want to sponsor us or make donations, you're able to do that, and we'd love to have a whole lot of people there.
The other thing that everyone listening to this and seeing this should really understand is that you don't have to try to decipher whether senior care can help you. That's, I think, an important thing. For some reason, I get this feeling like people need help. They know they need help. They need their resources or something, and they put it off. And
Absolutely.
because they don't know if it's right for them. For you guys, you have an informational referral process where they can effectively call in or reach out to you guys and just say, "Hey, this is what I think I need, or this is the problem that I'm running into. How can you guys help?" And if you guys can help directly, if SeniorCare can help out directly, you'll refer them to the team member, whether that's getting them on the Meals and Wheels bandwagon, or whether it's helping them, transition on to Social Security, whatever it may be. If you can offer the service, you'll get them in touch with the right person from your team. If you can't, you also, like you've talked about throughout this conversation, have a lot of other community partners that you can refer them to because you guys have been doing this for so long. And so it's one of those scenarios where it's like, if you're listening to this and you are a senior, call in directly. If you are what we call a caregiver, that could be you're looking at taking care of your own parents. You're looking at taking care of your own kids and your parents and yourself and all of this. And you're like, man, I could really use some help in a couple of these things. You can call in and explain the situation and see how it can, you don't have to try to take it on.
Right.
Is that fair?
That's very fair. Most of the time when people call us, excuse me, they're in crisis.
Yeah.
And, to steal a term from another sister agency I used to work for, know us before you need us. So we, myself and members of the team, we try to get out into the community and meet with groups to do presentations, make sure people know, who we are. They may not need us right now, or they may have a loved one who may need us in the future, or they may need us in the future. It's really important that they know about us. So to your point, when people call SeniorCare, I always end my presentations by saying, just call us. It's going to go to information and referral, and they're going to gather information and kind of see what people are looking for, what their needs are. And like you said, they'll either make a referral within the walls of SeniorCare, or our many different community partners that are out there, including the councils on aging.
Yeah, if you're like a karma-based person, this is the perfect opportunity, right? It's not if, it's when. It's when are you going to need SeniorCare to come, provide a service for you in that moment of crisis. And if you're kind of that karma-based person, which I kind of do operate under the karma base, it's like, buy your chips in now. You can, if you're 59 or 60 and you're doing awesome and you're super active, it's like you're a perfect person to donate some time, watch a pet, do a Meals on Wheels drive, transport somebody. If you're an accountant, maybe you can help on the money management side, whatever it may be. And then someday you're going to call on a service from SeniorCare, and those karma chips have been paid. And it's just, you'll feel really good about it, and you're helping your community.
It's funny you should say you're a karma person, because I kind of am as well. In fact, I have a Japanese character on my back, a tattoo that says karma.
There you go. Look at that.
Yeah, it's just important to call us. And any listeners out there, if you have groups, you would ever want a group presentation to learn more about SeniorCare, I'm always willing to come out, because it is important that folks know us. To be honest with you, the ASAP and AAA system in Massachusetts, which is awesome, probably the best in the country, we're still a well-kept secret.
Yeah.
So we're constantly battling getting the word out, be it in person, be it through social media. We have a weekly column in the Gloucester Daily Times and Salem Evening News that our marketing officer, Tracy, writes every week. Again, sharing information on relevant topics related to older adults and their caregivers.
And you have physical locations in Gloucester and Beverly, right?
Yeah, we're at Blackburn Industrial Park here in Gloucester, and we're also at the Cummings Center in Beverly.
Yeah, so if somebody wanted to come in and meet one of these information referral people,
just come on by.
Come by, say hi. Exactly.
Yeah.
Scott, thank you for coming in, number one, and telling your story, and we'll do a weekend to tell the story too. But I'm hoping that the people listening to this spread the word. That's the key. Like, we need this community, not necessarily to use senior care if you don't have a need, but to share it, to tell other people about it. If you have a friend who seems to be taking care of their own mom or dad and are stretching themselves thin, tell them about the podcast in senior care, and you listen to this, and you should reach out and just see what's possible. That's what we're looking for out of this. If people just talk about it so that it just is out, that's what we're looking for. And
Right.
then come on, guys, let's get the resources. We're just trying to help the people in the community that have helped us, right? So
Absolutely. I really appreciate this opportunity to be on your show. And like I said, just call us. We'll
yeah,
help you figure it out. You don't have to have answers. You don't have to worry about asking the right question. We'll help you figure things out. Just
awesome.
call us.
Well, thank you, Scott, for coming
Thank you.
on. I
Appreciate it.
appreciate what you're doing for the community.
All right. Take care.